Greetings and welcome to a quick tutorial on nesting loops. So in this exercise we have a list of fruits from the supplier and we have a list of fruits that are at the store. So I just called it fruits and subfruits for now, and then we're going to have a holder that's going to hold what fruits the store doesn't have. So in this case we should see it has apples, it has bananas, but the store does not have kiwis or oranges. So we're going to write a program that's going to fill this and then add it to this list to update the fact that now the store can house kiwis and oranges as well as grapes, apples, and bananas. So I've already written the first for loop. For I in range, we get the length of fruits. We're going to loop through each of these supplier fruits, and then we're going to check to see if it's actually in there or not. So what I'm going to do now is create a holder, basically a little variable to check to see if it's available or not, that we'll use in a little bit. So I'm going to just call this at store equals false. So we're going to start this at false. So basically we're saying, is this supplier fruit at the actual store? And we're going to call it false, because what we're going to do is we're going to create now a nested loop and check through each of them. So basically we'll start off with apple, but then we need to loop through all the subfruits to see if it's at the store or not, right? If it's at the store or not. Because if it's not at the store, then we're going to add it to the fruit holder for now. And then we'll be able to use that to add back to the list. So with this, let's go ahead and do for, and in this case I'm going to use j, and you can use whatever variables I and j are just going to let us iterate through this. You could do outer, inner to help you remember, but I'll discuss what's outer and inner as we go through. So range, length. Now in this case we're going to do the subfruits, right? Because we're going to loop now through the subfruits, and we're going to go ahead. What I'm going to do here is print fruits, because what we're going to do is compare fruit I versus fruit j, or subfruits j. So let me go ahead and do fruits I. So we should see apple, apple, apple. But what we're going to see is apple, banana, apple, 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 grape. As we go, and we'll see, and I'll kind of talk through that in a little bit. So print subfruit, and then j. All right, so I is going to be the same, which is why we're going to get apple, apple, apple. As we're looping, I is the same in this. Apple, apple, apple. But then we're going to get banana, apple, grape. So when I run this, all right, we have, and this is for every single fruit. So we'll just explain. We have apple, banana, which are the first time this runs, because fruit I is apple, fruit j is banana. Then we have apple, apple, because this is still apple, right? We haven't iterated again through this outer loop. The inner loop's the one that's looping, and now it's apple, apple, which in this case, we see that it's there, right? It's there, so we don't need it. And then the final one in this j is apple, still, and grape, which is where we have apple, grape. All right, so that is that first inner loop, right? We loop 3 times through this because there's 3 here, and now we're going to come back up. I is now going to be 1, so we're now on kiwi. So now, again, this restarts, so now we have kiwi banana, kiwi apple, kiwi grape. So kiwi banana, kiwi apple, and kiwi grape. Never is there the same one, so therefore this is a new fruit, right? So it's not at the store. So let's write this code now. I'm going to delete these for this. So if, actually, I want to copy some of that. So if fruit I is equal to subfruit j, colon. All right, we're going to delete these now. And it's good I still have this up, right? So when we do this, this will be false, so nothing happens. This will be true, so this code will execute. And this will be false, so nothing executes. So basically, if at any time in this loop it's true, we're going to do at store is equal to true. All right. So if any time in that, this is one inner loop. We're looping through here. Apple banana, not true. Apple apple, true. Apple grape is not true, but it's already been set true. So basically, if you're really thinking about this, we set it as false because it's not at the store. At any time it becomes true, it doesn't matter if it's the beginning, the end, if at any time this is in there, it's going to set it to true. And we'll see why we want that in a little bit. Again, if at any time this is true, it's going to be true, but because it never turns to true, it's false. We're going to write this next code. So again, this is outside of the for loop. We are done with the for loop for now. And we're going to say if at store equals false, right? We still want, we want to know if it's not in there. And it resets every single time. So we go apple, banana, apple, 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 grape, and we come back up here and at store is false again. So it was true because we had apple, apple. And because it was not false, we're not going to execute this if statement. So we come back up here and we do nothing, right? If apple is in here, we don't care. It doesn't become true. This doesn't change. And again, we're going to keep on looping through. So at store equals false. Apple is not at the store, so it's not going to be false. So we're not going to add apple to the list because apple is already there. So that's where we're going to use our holder. So fruit holder dot append, and then we're going to add fruit I because this. So in this example, kiwi. We come back up here. We're now at kiwi. We set it to false, so it's false. Kiwi is this one. Kiwi banana, not true. Kiwi apple, so kiwi banana, kiwi apple, kiwi grape, that's the last loop in here. This is never set to true, so at store is false. So if at store equals false, then we're going to add this. So now this holder right here is going to have kiwi. Then we're going to loop to banana. We're going to turn to false. Banana is true right away, so this is true. It doesn't matter then it's false and false because all we're looking for is once it's true, so we'll skip this. Banana is not going to get added to this list. And then we come back up here. It's false again. Orange banana, orange apple, orange grape. Never gets turned true, so that means it's not in the store, so therefore we're going to add it to the list. And we went through the whole entire thing, and now fruit holder has it. So we're going to get completely out of the for loop now. We've completely did our nested loop. We have this filled with kiwi and orange, and now we're just going to add this to subfruit. So in this case, we're going to do another for loop for x in range, and we're going to loop through this list. And again, probably we want a little bit of if it's empty, don't actually do this, but we're going to assume that it's not empty for this code. I was just focusing on the loops. And then we're going to do for the laying fruit holder, and then we're going to append the x of fruit holder into subfruit. So subfruits dot append fruit holder x. So again, x is this one, the new loop. I could probably use I again, but I'm just going to use x to delineate that's different. And then that just added those last two to the end of it. So we should have kiwi and orange in this. I'm going to print fruit holder, and it's going to give us the whole entire array. I don't want to loop through it all. This is just going to prove that it works. Oh, we don't want a fruit. Sorry. Don't print. Well, this means it works, right? So fruit holder does have kiwi and orange. I should have actually printed subfruits to show that kiwi and orange got added to the end of it. which again, banana, apple, grape, kiwi, and orange were not in here. They got added to this. We added those to the end of subfruits, so therefore now we can stock all of these because of this new supplier that we have. All right, some other supplier gave us grapes, but this new supplier allows us to get kiwi and oranges as well. So that is a nested for loop and a way, just a way of kind of going through the items inside of it and checking to see if it's there or not. There's different ways to do this. You can do for fruit in fruits, and then this would be slightly different. However, depending if you're running a couple arrays list, I guess in Python's case, a list that have the same amount, and you're trying to do two lists, I like to use the I. It's not always as neat, but if for whatever reason I needed to use the I to access something, the number actually needed the number, then it's useful. So that is nested loops with an example. Hopefully that found that helpful. See you next time.